Welcome to the Moon Magic Tarot channel. Wow, cards are just flying through here. Thank you so much for joining me. It is an absolute joy to read for you. Super Souls, we are asking a very specific question today in these readings. We're asking about career, money and finances for the first quarter of next year. I'm going to do a series of detailed readings about different areas of your lives, and today career, money, finances. I'm seeing the 3 cards already coming through for our readings. Career, money, finances for the first quarter of the year, so that's January through to March. So reading number 1, Wild Red Rider, Blessing Bestowed. That's for reading number 1. Reading number 2, we have Sisters of the Sacral Spiral. And reading number 3, Princess of Purity Leaps Across. So those are the cards to guide you into the readings. I'm going to draw a rune and a charm for each, for those of you that would like that extra bit of connection or that extra bit of guidance. Okay, 2 runes for this one, and also charms. Okay, so reading number 1, we have the rune of ice and we have a feather. Very distinct feather as well, this one, for those of you. It's quite interesting. Look at the shape here. Fascinating. Okay, so reading number 1, you have the rune of ice and you have a feather. Reading number 2, you have the rune of partnership and an umbrella. I say an umbrella, it looks more like a parasol than an umbrella. Let me see this. I hope that's focusing enough for you. And reading number 3, you have the dolphin charm. You have the rune of defense and you have the rune of the warrior. Okay, Super Souls, I'll leave the video running for a few more moments. For those of you that need a bit of extra time, you can always press the pause button. Do take your time, listen to your intuition. It will always guide you, I think, to the right reading. And if you find yourself called to more than one, even though this is very specific, career, money, finances, even so, you may find that there is information for different areas of your sort of finances, or different areas of those particular aspects of your world. So there may be more than one reading here for you. Tune in, trust your intuition, and I will see you in the readings. Timestamps are in the information box and in the comments for phone users. Welcome, reading number 1. This is a really interesting collection we have here. The rune of ice, of standstill, with Wild Red Rider, Blessing Bestowed, and this very direct kind of pointy, I want to say pointy arrow. It's a feather, but it's got a really, there's a strength in these this card and rune already, and this charm. Let's draw cards and see what we are shown. We are asking for reading number 1 about career, money, finances for the first 3 months of next year. Just one, I think, for this. Well, I think that's what you've got, reading number 1. We're definitely going to go with these cards and just see how they flow. We are asking for really details, information, whatever we need to know for reading number 1 for the first 3 months of next year. Okay, 2023. Let's put your tarot cards to one side and look at your oracle cards first. Okay, you have the card of the mask. I'm actually going to put that down here, I think. In fact, no, I'm going to put it up here. The card of the mask. And then you have Amanita, Conduit. Ooh. Okay, very interesting cards. Comfrey, Completion, and also Calendula, Purity. Okay, I hope you can see these cards well enough as I hold them up for you. Okay, and actually what I will just as well say, because I know for some of you numbers are really important. Some of you are very, very skilled with numbers. So we have the 42, 32, and Calendula is 1. But look at this pathway. And look at this beautiful little naked child standing in front of this pathway and the light, the doorway here being shown. This is a very, very interesting reading. Career, money, finances, 11th house, community. And then we have obstacles and blocks are lifted. We have successful funding and bountiful nature. This is super good, super, super good. Now, before we look at your tarot cards, let us just tune in with what we're being shown so far in this reading number 1. Very interesting connection here with Wild Red Rider, Blessing Bestowed, and the Rune of Ice. Now, the Rune of Ice suggests that something is at a standstill. You know, something isn't moving forwards, or something is... Patience is required. That's really what's coming through here. Patience is required here. So I think what we're being shown here, primarily, this is the very first essence of the message here for you. I think as we move into 2023 with your finances, it may be that as you are ending 2022, that you may have been experiencing obstacles and blocks, or feeling like you're working really, really hard and not getting anywhere. What we're seeing with Wild Red Rider, Blessing Bestowed, is a big, big shift. The same with Amanita, Conduit, completion. A period of something is coming, a period of either stuckness or hard work, where you feel like you're constantly trying to invest, but you're not seeing the return yet. We're seeing this changing. The Mask. This is an interesting card to have in this position. I'm really intrigued to see your tarot cards, but let's just tune into. The Mask is a card that is speaking to us of something that was previously not seen becoming seen. Something, it's almost like if you didn't have a voice, suddenly you find a voice. It can sometimes relate to being in a bit like in the theatre, being seen, publicly seen. Reading number 1, I genuinely feel that there is going to be some really quite significant shift for you in your career, money, finances in these first 3 months of next year. For some of you, it may literally be an entirely new direction. Something coming to an end, a completion. So if you have been feeling stuck, if you have been feeling as though things aren't moving forwards, I think that that period of stuckness will come to an end in some way. You will have a voice. Successful funding, obstacles and blocks are lifted, bountiful nature. We're seeing so much potential for, it's almost like an abundant new beginning. What I do wonder though as well is if actually career, money, finances, you literally take on a new role. You could even find yourselves having a completely, it may not be, it could be an extension of your existing career pathway, or it could literally be a different pathway altogether, or you could find yourself becoming a spokesperson for a group of people, and this upgrades your career, money, finances. Let us look at your tarot cards. We have the Empress, we have the Five of Swords, we have the King of Pentacles. Okay. How can we reorganize your cards so that we can see all of them? I think what I will do is I'm just going to place these. Yeah. Excuse me, Super Souls. Let me rearrange your cards. Let me pause the video for 1 second so we can see everything. Oops, I'll try and do that. If I can find my mouse. Okay, Super Souls, hopefully you can see better now. Now this is really, really interesting. We have the Empress. So I think this is something you have been, for many of you, this is obviously a general reading, but I actually think you've actually been working at something. Something you have been working on, that you've been investing in, or that you have been desiring is literally taking a turn. But a turn as in a phase of something not kind of working out shifts. We have the Empress, so I think we're seeing the fact that you have been nurturing this, you've been investing it. It's like an investment pays off for you. King of Pentacles and Five of Swords, very interesting. We have the Five of Swords, we have the Seven of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Six of Swords, and then the Page of Wands. Beautiful, beautiful cards. Okay. So as you enter 2023, January, February, March, in fact, I think we'll draw some cards literally for those 3 months in just a moment to really see the way that this is going to be transforming and give you the heads up. Because I kind of feel I also want to voice, it's like your spirit team is saying to you, have patience, persevere. You know, don't feel that this isn't going to work out, because this is. Okay, so if you are stuck, if something isn't moving forwards, if you have been looking for work and it just hasn't emerged, or you are fed up with the job that you're in, or you are working on a personal creative project, but it's lots and lots and lots of work and it just doesn't appear to be coming through, we're going to see the shift in this period of the first 3 months of next year. Have patience, persevere, stick at it, okay? We are absolutely seeing that opening. So nurturing is needed here. Perseverance, continuing of an investment. We see a point of transformation here. I almost feel like, Super Souls, you know when you're really working at something and you just get to the point where you think, oh, it's never happening. You know that point where you think, I'm never going to be able to achieve this, or this isn't really going to work, or you know that point here, that Five of Swords point, when you feel like, you know, the limitations are around you. Every time you feel like you get your head above water, something else comes in. It's like another bill arrives just when you thought, oh wow, you know, I'm just starting to level out. I've just, I don't know, paid off the overdraft or something. And then suddenly some unexpected thing happens. You know, you have a blowout on the tire of your car and it's yet another expense. That's the sort of flavor of stuckness that I think is around you, maybe at the end of this year. You may already be in that zone, but we are obviously looking at January, February, March of next year. That is going to change, but it's really funny. I almost feel like it's at that point where you just think, oh, is this ever going to straighten out? That point of, everything feels so stuck. It's not happening. And it's almost like that's the energy here. And then suddenly we see the shift. You know, the Seven of Cups opens up possibilities. There's a change in direction. The Two of Swords for me is very interesting in this position, because I feel really strongly your team, your spirit team is saying to you, there's going to come a point when you choose something. Look at this, the mask here. You potentially either choose a new direction, or there is a shift so that something you're working on then takes shape or form. So there's a space of Yeah, I do think some of you may literally change direction, change jobs, accept a promotion, something that takes you in a different direction, because we are seeing completion. We're seeing obstacles and blocks lifted, successful funding, and this bountiful nature. You know, there's so much here that feels like you get to a point where I want to say you get to a point where you can relax. There's a tension at the beginning of this period I'm seeing, and then suddenly everything starts to take off. It starts to happen for you. 11th house community. This is an interesting card. Let's draw more cards, Super Souls, and let's draw some cards for January, February and March to find out, you know, how this is emerging. Before we do that, let's just look at the planets, the astrology here on these cards. We have Neptune, we have Pluto, and we have Mercury. I don't know if you can see them, the little symbols are right at the top of the card here. So Neptune it's a very emotional, watery energy. Pluto is about rebirth, and Mercury is about messages, communication. Now these mushrooms are actually the fly agaric mushroom, Amanita. They were used shamanically for journeying, for literally to bring about visions, but they are also actually very poisonous. And you know, this fly agaric mushroom, I'm seeing, it's like you're being shown that there is guidance coming through to you. This is a very interesting aspect of your reading here, because we're asking for details really about money, career and finances. What we have here as well, can we see this deer walking across this sort of glade here? And we have one kind of tree here, and then we have silver birch trees on the other side. Silver birch trees are representative of new beginnings. The rune Berkana is associated with the birch tree. So we're seeing a transformation, a transition here, a rebirth, communication, guidance, information. It may be that you are going to, for some of you, literally shift to a position where you become a communicator, you become the voice for a community group or a group of people. Successful funding. Let's place this card here and let's draw cards for January, February and March. Now we'll use a different tarot pack. May we please have cards for January for reading number 1, and then for February for reading number 1. Actually, I've seen that's the card. So January, we move these over January, February, and now may we have cards for March, please. I feel these are our cards for March. Okay, let us have a look and see what we are shown first of all. So January, you have Queen of Discs. Then you have King of Swords. You have 4 of Cups and the card of Temperance. Okay. This is very interesting, reading number 1. Okay, so what we're seeing here, what I feel we're shown, I actually would like to say to you in terms of let's say the advice from your team, your spirit team. I feel as if you almost have to take a leap of faith. You know, blessing bestowed. Take a leap of faith. You leap into the unknown, or you literally trust that the doorway will be shown to you, the path will be shown to you. There's an essence of just holding your own energy and trusting that the guidance that you need will come to you, to be relaxed almost about the choices that will be available for you in January. We're seeing really clearly here a conduit, something transformational taking place, information coming to you, being guided, being shown the way. Something in this period completes. Now for some of you, this is a card which is ruled by Saturn. We have a little symbol at the top here. I hope you can see that here. Comfrey, completion. So something is coming to its natural, it's running its course. That's what I want to say. A period of stuckness is going to reach a point of its own ending. I feel as though what your spirit team are saying to you here is, look, don't worry too much. Look after yourself. Prioritize your self-care. Be thoughtful with your money and your finances during January. Okay, don't overspend. Be thoughtful, be careful, because we're seeing a big shift here. We're seeing an upgrade coming in this first quarter. But primarily as you enter January, I would just say be very mindful and be careful, be diligent with your finances. You know, Queen of Discs, she's holding this very carefully. She's holding your money very carefully here. And the King of Swords is really poised. He's thoughtful, he's mindful, he's really allowing himself to be diligent is the word that keeps coming through here. Diligent with your finances, and at the same time, don't worry. It's a really interesting kind of duality of feeling here in this reading for you. In January, I think be careful, manage your finances thoughtfully, don't overspend, and yet at the same time, don't worry about finances. There's a very big difference between being anxious about stuff and worrying, as opposed to just being clever with your finances. Okay, because I think as you come towards the end of January, we're actually going to see a point of choice. I was wondering when this transition, there is a distinct transition, there's a definite divide where you upgrade something you have been nurturing, the door opens for you, or another direction is shown to you. It's a general reading. This is going to apply to your unique circumstances. So it's almost as if at the very beginning of January, you are being asked to have faith, to trust, to be diligent, be careful with your finances. Be mindful of how you spend money, not overspending, practical, be very practical about things. And, you know, I almost feel like with this Four of Cups here, there's something about, you know, maybe even a bit like staying at home a little bit. Be comfortable in your own environment. Don't worry, because there is an upgrade coming. By the end of January, we have then a card of choice here. Temperance. I feel, you know, there's going to be some decisions to be made here. Let us see what we are shown for February. Ah, yeah, you see it's opening up. Look at this. I mean, this is the upgrade. Absolutely clear as anything here. You come into February and we begin with the universe. So this is the completion, that sense of something coming to a completion point, a time where you have had to be cautious, a time where you've had to be careful. I'm not saying leap ahead and overspend, but nevertheless, what we have here is an upgrade. We see the shift bang at the beginning of February, and we have the Ten of Cups and we have the Teacher. So these are super cards to have for February. You know, this is the turning point that we're being shown here. This is the point where the ice melts, where your trust, your faith, your patience, your perseverance, your steadiness, your mindfulness, your carefulness and diligence suddenly pays off. Okay? This is the time of upgrade. The point of upgrade, I think, is literally as you come to the end of January, there are choices available to you. So this is the point of completion of something, and this is a card of completions and new beginnings. And look at the joy here. the contentment, 10 of Cups. This is something you're going to love. This is something that's going to make your heart sing. This is where stuff is coming back to you. Your trust, your faith, your patience pays off. This is the upgrade point. The Teacher. Now, I think some of you may well be stepping into some aspect of a new career pathway. It's certainly a new chapter. That's absolutely for sure. It's a new chapter financially. It's a new chapter potentially career-wise. There is a distinct upgrade in something here for you. Reading number 1. It may be for some of you that you are going to step into something and you're going to be learning more. There will be things to be learned, a new career pathway where we step into a new role, new opportunities. For some of you, you may actually be teaching others. Something you are bringing forth goes into the world. We are seeing communication here. Let us look. I'm going to move these up and let us look now at the cards for March. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Super. We then have the 4 of Discs, your crowning glory, and then the 5 of Swords. This is a very interesting card in this position, because what I'm seeing here, the upgrade is actually going to require really clear thinking as well. It's like focus, that's the right word. When I say clear thinking, focus. This is just the most fascinating reading, reading number 1. We are literally seeing, as you move through into January, carefulness, perseverance. February, breaking open, something happening, something completing, something new beginning here. Career, money, finances. In March, everything starts to move forwards. We've got celebration here. Your crowning glory, it's like, yes, it's happening. Yes, this is the pathway. Yes, this is where I want to go. Seeing new possibilities, it's emerging. And then it's kind of, I almost feel like as you move then through March, it's this mixture, you know, it's a delightful mixture because it's so real. That's the flavour of it. You know, when you start something new and you get the job and it's just, you're just out there celebrating, you're popping the champagne, and then there's the realness of this, which is, wow, actually, let's really gather our thoughts and get focused, because I'm now going to have to apply myself to this new position, because you're upgrading in some way, shape or form. You know, there are possibilities coming here for you. You know, this is the world opening up. Your money, career, finances are opening up. Now, I'm going to draw from a couple more packs because I'm very curious about the kind of nature of this. I think we will draw from some, and these are actually cards that are connected to soul purpose, but I'm kind of really fascinated about your career pathway potentially here, what we're being shown here for reading number 1, the kinds of things, the kinds of energy that we're shown in terms of the sort of career. It may be that it's almost like a vocation, I don't know, but let's draw from some other cards just to ask for more information about this new direction for reading number 1. We'll look at these 3 cards, and also let's draw from the Enchanted Map cards as well. Okay. Right, let me just pick these up. Okay. Okay, let's, your cards here, we have Stuck in the Mud, Metamorphosis, Metamorphosis actually, and Moonlight. Okay, this is really interesting. I actually feel for some of you, it's a general reading, and this is a big detailed reading for the first 3 months of next year. But you know, I did say some of you may have been working on something. One way or the other, the stuck in the mud, this is the point of change for you. We are seeing very distinctly at the end of January. I'm loving that your spirit team are so supportive of you. They're like, persevere, hold on, trust the universe. Everything is happening with purpose. This is all going to shift and change. We're seeing absolute transformation, bringing your world back into balance. The way being illuminated for you. And with the owl here again, learning, guidance. I do feel some of you are going to be moving into a pathway, a new pathway that is very distinctly connected to some aspect of learning, whether you're delivering learning or whether you are learning a new career yourself. The cards we have here are Engineer. Do you have many things to figure out and get accomplished? Take an organized, grounded approach to help you maintain focus using sound, scientific solutions. A clear mind with focused intention provides a strong foundation for accomplishments. And this is sardonyx. This is the crystal here. Sardonyx, building. Very interesting, because I think this applies not only to the potential for a career pathway, possibly for some of you, but more as well about your approach to this period, this phase of getting organized, being focused. I think there is a direction that you are being taken in that is going to be very focus orientated, using your mind, because we have engineer, we have broker, we have writer. All of these kinds of career pathways, these aspects of a calling potentially require a focused mind, which has come through very clearly. The broker card, do you have a natural skill for bringing people together? 11th house community. For business deals, embrace your talent for orchestrating mutually beneficial situations. Be confident in your ability to identify the needs of all parties. Again, Mercury has been showing up in your reading. Be confident in your ability to identify the needs of all parties and make the best recommendations to close the transaction. We're talking finances, broker, and the energy of Jade. I'll speak about how I feel these integrate. Writer, Angelite, education. Do you enjoy writing? You are often inspired to create something, so take action. Recognize that you are prolific. Tune into your muse and align with the flow and mental clarity. Allow yourself to step forward and put your ideas into place at this time. Writing is cathartic. Now, what this is really saying to us, even within a general reading, is that something or some aspect, money, career, finances, that has been feeling stuck or feels stuck as you enter January potentially, or even stale is a word. You may have been feeling that you are working at something that, or a career pathway that is feeling a bit stale, or you've lost its vigor and its aliveness. The shift is coming. Circumstances are shifting and changing for you guys. Be patient, be diligent, be focused. What is very, very interesting, and I'm hearing for some of you, you may even have been recovering from some health issues which have been slowing you down. The shift is coming towards the end of January. That seems to be very clear here. Decisions, choices to be made, everything opening back up, renewed vitality, but being a spokesperson, moving into some direction where you have greater authority, you have a greater voice. You may well be sharing your knowledge, becoming like a director or a writer, you know, whatever you're doing, you're taking on more responsibility. You know, by the time we end up moving into, there are choices at the end of January and the shift occurring as we move into February. There is celebration in February. This just feels fabulous. It's the offer, it's the opportunity, it's the doorway opening. And then it's as you move into March, really actually getting to grips with the reality of this choice and getting down to work, knuckling down to this new pathway, this new position, this new avenue, this, you know, if you were offered a book deal, for example, you've been, you know, pitching to loads and loads and loads of people, or pitching, you know, a play or a theatre group or a piece of music, or a book idea, you're pitching this and pitching it and really reaching that point where you think, is it ever going to happen? And then yes, choices open up as you come to the end of January. Yes, we have a celebration in February. It's very exciting, metamorphosis. And suddenly now we have to start to get to really start to hands-on do the work in March, and it feels vibrant and it feels exciting. So get focused and be prolific. Whatever you are shifting to, it will require your full focus. You know, career, money, finances, you know, this is the point beyond the popping the champagne and actually getting down to doing the work. But how exciting. You know, we are seeing a beautiful transformational shift in energy here for you, reading number 1. This is marvelous because I can see how hard you've worked, and it's not easy when it feels like nothing is ever actually opening up, and you kind of, I always think when we have a reading like this, it reminds me of Harry Potter, of J.K. Rowling. I think I was told she was, I'm sure, I can't remember exactly, it may have been something, for some reason 26 is a number coming to my mind, that she had sent the manuscript to 26 different agents or publishers before she got the one. And you know, so there's a shift here occurring. So something that has not been happening, we see that perseverance, that diligence paying off, whether this is applying for new roles, applying for a job, or feeling like something is just not happening, or a creative venture. The emergence comes, and by the time you are in March, you are working hard and in a very focused way, because that's the realness of this, which is beautiful. Reading number 1, I'm loving your reading. Tons and tons of love. Do watch out, Super Souls, because I'm going to be doing these focused readings for the first quarter about all sorts of different areas of life. I will be very intrigued to be doing your reading for your spiritual pathway and your calling and your purpose, and to see how that might be aligning in those readings with these readings for career, money and finances. So all sorts of readings we'll be doing: relationships, health, home, family, about this next 3-month period, the first 3-month period of 2023. Super Souls, I'm sending you all the love in the world. Thank you so much to all of you for being here and for joining me for this reading. Thank you to those of you who are giving back through the super thanks, and thank you all of you who are following me and following and supporting my work through Patreon. I hope you are enjoying your tutorials. If you're new to me and my channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon if you want to know as soon as I post a reading. And if you are interested in the work I do through Patreon, I post tutorials every month for my Patreon people on learning how to read the tarot and the oracle cards and the runes. And in November, as I'm doing this reading, I am posting a tutorial about working with the runes very specifically. So Super Souls, thank you all so much for being a part of this wonderful community. I am sending you all the love in the world, and I am so excited for this transformation. It's so clear. Welcome, reading number 2. Today we are asking about career, money and finances for January, February and March, the first quarter of 2023. This rune of partnership is interesting because it is suggesting that career, money and finances are very interconnected with some aspect of relationship for you. We also have this beautiful little parasol here, which is a very joyous little charm actually. I'm going to place this here and we're going to draw a ton of cards and ask for really detailed information for you. So let's draw some oracle cards first of all. Oh wow, I feel like these cards are quite vibrant today. There is your card. Okay, there's your first and your second and your third here. So information please for reading number 2 about career, money and finances for the first quarter of 2023. I'm seeing this little card just in here. Is that a one? I'm going to draw some tarot cards as well. These cards, they are so soft because I have had them for so many years. You can kind of see right around the edges. They are really well used and well worn. I'm seeing also those two cards there. Okay, let's have a look and see what we have here for reading number 2. We have the Seed. My goodness me, what a powerful card to begin with for your 2023 or the first quarter 2023 period. And look at this partnership. Look at this. Isn't that interesting? Partnership, partnership. Okay, we have Rose, Love. Wow. We have Rose, Love. We have St. John's Wort, Radiance. Okay, let me just as well check in here. This is very interesting. We have Venus and the Moon. Okay, this is the astrological connection here. And we also have the Sun. So we have both the, I mean, in a non-gender specific way, we do have the elements of both the masculine and the feminine here in some aspect of relationship. We have Rose, Love. We have St. John's Wort, Radiance. And we have Poppy, Dream. This is Neptune and Saturn. Ooh. Reading number 2. This is so interesting. This is so interesting. We have the card of Abundance, which is Jupiter. Smashing and lovely card to have in your reading. And then we have these 3 cards. Face your financial fears, Dreams of Abundance, and Partnership. Okay, so what I wish to say to you right at the very beginning of your reading for the first quarter of 2023 Super Souls is there is a shift here, or the beginning of, I say a shift, the beginning of, it's like being connected in some way, shape or form to someone else, working with somebody else, working in collaboration. There is a very clear seed to be sown here. There is some aspect of your finances that will be enhanced by working in partnership. I think for the first part, career, money, finances, the first part of next year, this is a time, reading number 2, when I want to say this is not a time to go it alone. Okay, this would be a time to be working in partnership. This could be to do with joining your finances together with somebody if you are embarking on a new relationship. Now, these readings are interesting because we're asking for very detailed information, and we will in a moment be drawing cards for January, February and March. But I'm doing these readings, I was really strongly called to do them for different aspects of your lives. I will be massively interested, Super Souls, to know what shows up in the love and relationships reading for you guys, actually, because it feels it's absolutely connected to relationship. It could be to do with sharing finances in an intimate partnership, or it could be a business partnership or working in collaboration with someone else. But it is really honest. There's a definite connection with working and joining together in finances. If you are a very, very independent person and you are anxious about collaborating, the seeds here are being sown for the recognition that you don't have to be fearful here about sharing your finances. You know, there's some aspect that's very important. Let me continue with your cards before I say any more. Page of Swords. It's your first card. And the Lovers. Well, you know, this is just so much here of relationships here for you. Let me move these cards up a little bit so that we can see everything, I hope. Jupiter, Abundance. This is expanding, expansion. The card of Temperance. Okay, so balancing things out. Five of Cups. These are really interesting cards. We have the Five of Cups. We have the Nine of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the King of Wands. I'm loving that we have these two cards together. We've got the masculine, we've got the feminine. Very, very interesting the way these energies are coming through for you, because actually the King of Wands is all about, you know, passion, creativity. This is fiery, passionate, emotional in its own way. The Queen of Swords is about sort of mental thinking, mental capacity. And so we have this really interesting embodiment here of both the masculine and the feminine coming together. There's an energy of partnership here, of working together, of creatively finding solutions, working out how to collaborate with somebody else in a way that moves something forwards and creates abundance. We have two cards of abundance here. I mean, this is amazing. We have two cards of abundance. We have endless cards, it feels like, of partnership here. The rune, excuse me, the rune of partnership, the card of partnership, the card of the lovers. So I'm going to say, I think really your team are really giving you the heads up that in January, February and March, your finances, your career, money and finances are going to be enhanced and benefit and grow through partnership in some way, shape or form, whether that is to do with intimacy and connection with another person in collaboration in a personal way, or whether this is to do with collaborating in a business partnership. What I do see here is you're going to have to face some fears around, it's almost like relinquishing control. Okay, that's what's coming through really clearly here. You know, maybe you are a very independent person, and the idea of connecting with someone or there's is quite a daunting thing. It raises those fears and insecurities. Maybe there is a big commitment to something here. There's some kind of a dream that you really, really want that's quite emotionally laden. There's a, you know, it could be a dream of, you know, buying a property together, for example. We'll see what comes up in the health, home and family readings as well in that area, as well as the love and relationships. But it's really interesting. Your finances, money, career finances are definitely connected to relationship. Let us now draw cards for January, February and March to get more information. I'm very curious about what this is all about for you. Reading number 2. May we please have information for January and February and March. Those cards are for January. May we have more information. What is this all about? For reading number 2. Okay. So let's move those over. So we have January first of all. King of Discs. More cards here. We have King of Discs. Wow. Yeah, let's just place them here. King of Discs, the Emperor, the Queen of Discs, and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Reading number 2, I feel very strongly that in January somebody offers you something. Now again, we've got the masculine and the feminine coming in here too. The Emperor, the Queen of Discs. There's a collaboration going on here. So in January, your career, money and finances, we're seeing an offer of something being given to you, an opportunity. Now I'm seeing you're being a little bit reticent here. Okay, I think you kind of really want it. Neptune and Saturn are connected to this card, Poppy and Dream. You know, it feels like a dream come true. This is what I'm really seeing for you, reading number 2. Career, money, finances. It's like a dream come true. It's something you wanted. Simultaneously, it's almost as though, you know, when you want something you really, 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 really wanted, and then suddenly it's offered to you, and then you have this massive wobble that's like, whoa, is this okay? Can I trust it? Will it be all right? That's the kind of flavour around you here, reading number 2. It does feel like a dream come true, but concern about it, reticence, hesitancy around you. Now, there's nothing currently showing up here that would suggest there's anything negative about this collaboration. Something is ready to emerge, to come forwards, but there is some anxiety, some concern around it. It may even, for some of you, come through necessity. There may be a need to collaborate. You know, perhaps it's appropriate to join forces with someone because there are some financial concerns. You know, Page of Swords here, 5 of Cups. So we're just seeing some reticence, some hesitancy around you, and yet this is looking powerfully positive, okay? And we have this beautiful parasol. I always think this charm is absolutely gorgeous. I hope you can you see that? I don't know if the camera will focus on it enough. Hopefully it will. Because I always feel when we see the parasol showing up, it's kind of like, you know, like when you save for, there's that saying, when you save for a rainy day, you know, and that for me is that rainy day is connected to sort of the umbrella, you know, and the parasol is kind of like it's time for the sun to come out. The sun is coming out and now we want to sit in the shade. It's like there's a real different feel to it here. The seed. This is a point of a new way of doing things, or a new way of seeing things, a new way of, yeah, there's a seed being sown here. There's definitely an offer being given to you, an opportunity. So, you know, if you're in a relationship, even though this is not strictly speaking a relationship reading, we'll be doing that in another reading in great detail. But we are seeing relationship in your reading. So if it's an intimate relationship, it could be somebody coming along and saying, you know, literally like a proposal of marriage, or a, you know, let's buy a house together, or, you know, let's join forces. And I'm just seeing this sort of uncertainty around you. You're not quite sure what to make of it. I think for some of you it's almost as if it opens up some fears of something. Okay, there's almost presses some of your buttons, even some childhood. This imagery here on this card, face your financial fears. We have an angel with children. You know, maybe there is concern around, presses your buttons. Maybe there was some financial difficulties in your childhood, and there's a fear of something going wrong. There's definitely reticence for some reason around this connection or this offer, and yet it's not looking as if it looks as if it's your route to abundance really here. Let us have a look and see what we're shown for February. Yes, look at this. Look at this. This is beautiful. We are seeing celebration. So, job offer, collaboration, partnership, someone coming along and saying, look, you know, what you do is amazing, I want to work with you. Or somebody coming into your world and saying, you know, I love you, I adore you, let's commit together financially. We're seeing success. Okay, Knight of Cups. And again, look at this partnership, the essence of partnership coming along. And wow, we have 2 aces, Ace of Discs, Ace of Wands. Reading number 2, whatever this offer is, it is an amazing one. It is the pathway to abundance. Somebody coming in and saying to you, let's collaborate. This is a super, super new beginning in some way, shape or form. It's really, really rubber stamped here. Ace of Discs, Ace of Wands. I mean, wow. The Emperor, Queen of Discs. I'm seeing this masculine, feminine, Queen of Swords, King of Wands, masculine, feminine. It's like this is, I'm going to say this is non-gender specific in terms of relationships, but it's a balanced partnership. It's going to work. This is a strong team. If you think of a partnership, the perfect partnership as being a team effort. We have each other's backs, we're working together, we're making it happen, we're pooling resources. This is abundance coming in. This is a good partnership for you, Super Souls. Let's have a look at March. We have Knight of Discs, the Harvest. Yes, super loving your cards. Let me move these up so that we can actually see them all. Lots and lots of cards coming out for you. Layers and layers, but I just feel we want to be able to see these January, February, March cards. I think that's now in the camera. Yes. Knight of Discs, fantastic. We have the card of Judgment. Ah, look at this, the Two of Discs sitting under the Ace, perfect. And then the Eight of Cups, beautiful. Look at the way these cards also are giving us guidance in their sort of like moving down kind of the horizontal lines as well. Take it step by step. I can see buttons could be pressed. There's a little bit of fear, there's anxiety. Might you be hurt again? You know, can you really trust? If you've had your trust betrayed in the past, can you really trust? This is a big deal. Somebody's offering you something significant. You know, do you commit? Do you not commit? Super Souls, do remember that I have a timeless readings playlist, and it's full of readings that answer specific questions like, can I trust this person? What will the outcome be? How will this pan out? Do check out those readings. You know, I post readings every single Sunday for weekly guidance. Always, you know, what's happening in the here and now in the next 7 days, and also lots of little tiny readings. I say lots in between. I post in between the bigger pick a card readings. I post small ones, which is just touch base with your spirit team right here, right now. If you're having a wobble, or if you just want to know how might today pan out, touch base with them. These readings are a resource for you. Do touch base with them if you're having a wobble. We're seeing a massive gift of an opportunity coming into your world in the form of some collaboration in partnership in some way, shape or form, whether it is personal or professional. It is success, it is the pathway to abundance, and we're seeing it happen quickly. Reticence, take it step by step initially, but this is a partnership that is fabulous, perfect, creating new beginnings. You're going to see the results pretty quickly here. Okay, you're going to start to see the harvest coming in. And it's really interesting, this Judgment card. We have the Emperor, the Knight of Cups, the Judgment. I feel this is like your crowning glory. Partnership, and look at the balance here again. The two contributions making up the one whole. This is the coming together of something, the culmination of something. And again, balance, harmony. Look at this, but the two emerging from the Ace. It's evolving. And you know, the Eight of Cups, I mean, this is like sailing into the sunset. I just feel unbelievably excited and blown away by your reading number 2. This is a fabulous opportunity for you. It's something that you've dreamed of. I can see there's anxiety. I can see some buttons are pressed. You may be experiencing indecision at the arrival of this offer. But my goodness me, we're seeing it pay. I mean, the Emperor is such a strong card of leadership, collaboration, Knight of Cups, working in balance, in harmony. Two people coming together to create, you know, a whole that is going to be your crowning glory, your success. The Queen of Discs, nurturing this opportunity, these seeds that are being sown together and creating this new beginning. And here we have the balance, the harmony, the success moving forwards. The Wheel of Fortune is turning. creativity. This is like the pathway to abundance, Ace of Wands, sailing into the sunset. Yes, you're a little uncertain. You know, slow and steady wins the race. It's okay to be, you know, just ground yourself. King of Discs, be grounded, be solid, be steady. We're seeing celebration and, you know, the harvest coming in. Reading number 2, I don't feel really that I need to draw any more cards for your reading. I just feel it is really complete. The messages coming through from your spirit team are loud and clear. Absolutely loud and clear. Whatever this partnership is, it is fabulous. It is absolutely fabulous. You may attract a little bit of envy as well in the background. Maybe there may be some people around you who are envious of this offer. I would also add that, you know, in January. But I would even say, very interesting, I do feel your reading is complete, but there is a little edge here in this Page of Swords. Because this is such a good offer, you may even find, you know how sometimes there are people around us who kind of are, they are kind of joyous about our success, you know, but at the same time they're kind of not, because they're a bit envious about it. You know, someone, it's like if say you have a best friend and, you know, you have, I don't know, maybe been in a house share with that person, and then you decide to move out and buy your own house with a partner, for example, or you get an offer that is just unbelievable for a job offer, and, you know, your mate knows that you are going to climb up that ladder of success, and that people are really pleased for you, but they're kind of also, there's a little bit of envy around the fact that you are successful, and they could even almost slightly tarnish. Page of Swords, you know, a little bit of that sort of gossipy, slightly, sometimes subtle, sometimes not so subtle put downs around something. And it's really just the root of that is just envy. So just be mindful of that. If you talk to a friend, if you're feeling anxious about this massive opportunity and you talk to somebody and they're a little bit negative about it, it's really about their own stuff going on here. It's not about you. You know, it's they kind of want to support you, but they're a little bit envious of what's going on for you as well. So do be thoughtful of that as well at this point of the offer. But it looks to be coming in pretty early on in January here. I'm seeing the offer very fast. You know, it's there, it's real, it's happening. Well, reading number 2. Yeah, do come back to this reading next year. If you're watching this now at the time that I'm posting it, yeah, feel free to bookmark the page or find it, you know, come to the Moon Magic Tarot homepage and look through the videos, because I would love to hear how you are doing when you get to this point next year. It would be super lovely to hear from you, and, you know, to keep us posted here, because, you know, we are a community. The Moon Magic Tarot channel is a community. You guys are amazing. So, you know, it's an absolute joy to read for you. So yeah, do check in from time to time. We'd love to hear how things are, and I'm really excited to be doing the other readings about the specific areas of life: partnership, love, you know, health, home, family, you know, all these things, your pathway, your calling, your purpose. So Super Souls, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you to those of you who are who give back through the super thanks in the comments. You are so appreciated, and thank you also all of you who support all of the work and the free stuff that I put into the world through Patreon. And for anyone new to me, I do upload a tutorial about every single month for my Patreon people about learning to read the tarot cards, the runes, the oracles, and in November, which is when I'm posting this reading, I have just posted and uploaded for my Patreon people a tutorial all about learning to read the runes. So do check that out if that interests you. All of the funds from Patreon go to supporting my free online library. I will put the links to absolutely everything in the information box below and in the comments for phone users. Reading number 2. I am blown away by your reading, and yeah, just do touch base and let us know how you are doing as you move through January, February and March of 2023. Tons and tons of love. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon if you want to get notification of any of the readings as I post them, whether it's the spontaneous ones, the immediate touching base ones, or these bigger pick a card readings. Super souls, tons of love. Welcome, reading number 3. So we are asking about your career, money, finance for the first 3 months of 2023. Now this card, Princess of Purity, leaps across along with 2 runes, the rune of defense and the rune of the spiritual warrior, the pathway of the warrior. This would suggest to me that you are, I don't know, making a decision, stepping over something, literally over something. Let's draw cards and see what we are shown. We're going to be drawing a ton of cards. So these are just such interesting readings. I'm loving, absolutely loving doing them. Now, may we ask for reading number 3, information about career, money, finances for the first 3 months, the first quarter of 2023. Thank you. Very lovely. Okay, let's draw some tarot cards as well. We will be drawing a lot of cards, including cards. We will draw cards for January, for February and March, so we really see how things are actually proceeding for you. But let's get some information first in general terms about what is actually happening for you guys, career, money and finances. Okay, let's see what cards we are shown for your oracle cards. We have the Mountain. This is a really interesting card, given that there is this kind of doorway to something. You're standing in a doorway and it's right at the heart of this mountain with a furnace burning in as well. Wow. Okay, we have cross-pollinate, a card of cross-pollinate. Worker bees. Okay, excuse me. We have the cards of ask for your needs to be met, detox your friendships, and pay yourself first. Oh, these are very powerful, very powerful cards. Given that we have the rune of defense and the rune of the warrior, the spiritual warrior. So we have Damiana, the beloved. Now this card is ruled by Venus and Mercury. Oh, sorry, Venus and Pluto, I apologize. Just checking in here. Yeah, Venus and Pluto, you can see those signs up there. Okay, Damiana, the beloved. This is a rune, a card connecting to partnership. We have the card St. John's Wort, Radiance, and Comfrey, Completion. This is very interesting because actually 2 of these cards actually came out, I think it was in reading number 1. Okay, ask for your needs to be met. Detox your friendships and pay yourself first. Okay, money, career, finances. Cross-pollinate. Reading number 3. The Princess of Purity leaps across is a card that suggests, particularly with this rune of defense, it suggests a need for boundaries or for overcoming something, stepping over something, leaping across something. I feel like we are being shown something here in your reading. This is the Sun and this is Saturn. These are the planets. So we have Venus, Pluto, rebirth, Venus, relationships. We have the Sun. Isn't it interesting? Look at this figure. These 2 figures leaping. across. Radiance. I am really feeling very strongly that you're going to need to hold some boundaries around someone. That's the first message that is coming through here. In some ways, I feel like your world is moving forwards in quite a personal way. Comfort, completion. I feel something is actually emerging. I feel that you are doing well, and yet there may be a need to draw some boundaries around some of the people around you. You know, when if you start to really thrive and you start to do really, really well, sometimes people really want to, and it's lovely to share of your success and to share of your you know, to be generous and to share is wonderful. But sometimes if you are sharing or giving, potentially even over giving to the wrong people, you know, sometimes people latch on to success. Some really interesting cards here for you, reading number 3. So we are asking career, money, finances. You have the card of Justice. You have the card of the Empress. And you have the Six of Swords. Okay. We then have the Page of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune. And then we have the Death card. This is a new dawn. Okay. I'm going to be drawing a lot more cards. A lot more cards for you, reading number 3. I actually feel as though you are needing to become discerning in some way, shape or form. You know, Justice card, weigh something up, really be clear about who you're going to keep in terms of your career, money, finances, what you keep and what you don't keep. Who you're prepared to work with and who you're not prepared to work with. The rune of defense, aside from speaking, sometimes I always feel for me of boundaries, what this rune also speaks about is that sometimes we can really develop an aversion to the conduct of others. You know, people behaving badly or not perhaps behaving very honestly or whatever it is. Sort of someone's behaviour, you know, maybe even, you know, you could even say someone behaving in a childish or an inappropriate way or having a particular attitude that really doesn't resonate with you. And, excuse me, it's almost as if with this rune, I feel it's like reaching a point where you kind of don't want to really put up or tolerate something anymore. It doesn't mean that you are necessarily going to have a major fallout over it, but more that you kind of choose to walk away. There's a completion here as well. I'm seeing you potentially thriving. We'll ask for more information, but I do feel there's some, literally I think you're reaping in the harvest in some way, shape or form. Something is coming to you, but it is as if you are needing to be conscious of the essence, the motivation of the people who want to work with you or who you are working with or who you collaborate with, and really start to get very, very clear and discerning. Five of Swords, cut through the, I want to say cut through the crap, actually, because your pathway's opening up. Six of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune. We've got this beautiful new dawn coming here, this beautiful new dawn. Something in your world is definitely shifting and turning. These are so clear. Ask for your needs to be met. Detox your friendships. Pay yourself first. You are being guided, advised. Your spirit team are very clear here. This is a time to look after you. This is a time to really think about who you're going to work with, who you're not going to work with. Gemini as a sign, I always feel when the moon is in Gemini, we're often given a real opportunity to weigh things up, to see things from all perspectives, to see things from both sides and make clear choices. I feel very much as if there is going to be some definitely clear decision making. Venus, Pluto rules really for me the card of the Death card. It's about rebirth. Here we have the card of the Mountain. I think you are seriously rising to new heights. Actually, career, money, finances, literally, I think you are rising, you're growing, you're flourishing. And as a consequence, you're needing to assess literally kind of who you keep in your world in quite a significant way. Very, very interesting. These readings are obviously very detailed readings about different aspects of your life. It will be very interesting when we get to the relationship readings, love and relationships, and also even your purpose, your calling. I'll be doing readings for the first 3 months in all of these different areas and aspects of your world. Yeah, I'm seeing you rising. I'm seeing you then almost like engaging with what I would call the challenges of success, because things shift. The kind of things that are coming to mind as well are, you know, like if you get a raise and a new position and you become a manager, and you know, formerly the people who were your colleagues, who were your you know, you worked as a team, and suddenly now you manage that team, and there's a whole adjustment to go with that, because instead of just being sort of buddies together, now you have to actually kind of manage these people. You have to actually, to some extent, have some authority potentially, or some responsibility over them. There's and sometimes people don't take kindly to you know, a colleague rising up the ladder when maybe they wanted that position. There's something here that you're having to address that comes with your rise to success. Let us draw more cards and see what we are shown. In fact, I think we're going to ask very specifically for some information, and we're going to draw cards for January, February and March, just to see what we're shown. What is this about as well? I'm really curious to have fundamentally just more information. But let's ask for January. May we have information about reading number 3 for January. I'm just feeling like a ton of cards are coming through. Let's just do January first. Let's just see what we are shown. Okay, so we have the Knight of Wands coming through for you as your first card. We then have the Queen of Wands. Gosh, lots of wands, lots of creativity and success. Okay, so Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands, Six of Wands and the Sun. So here we see your success. Okay, this is super good for you. Really, really super nice. Look at this. Look, here we have Knight of Discs. We've got the Harvest coming in. You are, something is coming in that is significant for you. It's absolutely to do with your work, career, money, finances. I mean, we're bang on the money here. Look at this, 8 of Discs. It's something you've worked for. I think you have really, really earned your success here. This is something you have worked for, you have earned it, you deserve it. Ace of Cups. And you love it. Super, super nice. So we've got a real validation of this very, very vibrant, buoyant, lovely, delightful, hard-earned success. This is not just, it's not just like a windfall kind of thing. This is real success. You worked for it. You deserve it. It's like way to go. And you love it. This is something you have worked for that you love. Queen of Swords, though, we have here. Three of Discs and the Emperor. Yes, this is very interesting. We're being given some really strong indications of leadership here, of you rising up, being given definitely authority, being given authority, responsibility, a position of power. You are well respected, you are acclaimed. You know, whatever you have been working at, you've created, whatever you are doing in the context of your career pathway, your work, your connection, career, money, finances, if you have been, you know, working carefully and thoughtfully and investing. This does feel very career orientated, largely, with the Eight of Discs sitting here in the middle, but something is coming to fruition. There's a harvest, a completion. You are rising. This is really, really deserved. It's really earned. This is a super, super, super reading here. Such a validation of you. It really, really is. It definitely a position of leadership, of higher claim, of higher status, and genuinely really, really respected. I want to say, no wonder somebody is envious of you. So this is fascinating in one way. I want to say, in terms of your career, money, finances, you are super, super fine for the first quarter of next year. Absolutely, categorically, you're rising up. I almost feel like rising to fame, rising in a prominent position, being seen as a leader, being respected, being valued. There's some stuff going on around you. I think the challenge of moving up that ladder, being in a more prominent position, I think you will overcome it easily. Princess of Purity leaps across. It will feel challenging in the moment, but that's part of what comes with this sort of situation. It's very interesting. I'm coming across readings that are really talking about this theme, actually. So clearly, you know, super souls, you have been working your socks off to be where you are, and this is very, very, very deserved. Now let's draw more cards and ask very specifically. I'll use another tarot pack so we've got the full range of cards for us. Let us draw cards for January, February and March to see how this is actually panning out. So for January, may we, for reading number 3, have cards for January. Okay, and another. And now may we have cards for February, please. I'm seeing this and this. Oh, well, okay, February looks to be very busy for you. And now let's draw for March. Okay, let us see what we have. Gosh, a lot of cards flying out for you. Let's just straighten these out a little bit and see what we have. So let us look at January first. 2 of Swords. Oh my goodness me, there really is a significant turning point in January. There really is for you. But it's quite interesting because it feels like January is the month when you become aware of something. So we have 2 of Swords. We have 6 of Swords, we have the Chariot, and we have the 5 of Cups. This is so interesting. So let's just talk about the Chariot energy here. The Chariot energy always tells us that something is going to move. There's a transition, a shift, a move forwards, often very fast. But at its core archetypal essence, the Chariot is a card that almost encourages you to what I would call to own, I would say healthy anger, but if you think about if you think about, sometimes we can see walking a spiritual pathway. I'm going to use a particular example here, but if you walk a spiritual pathway and you're walking the pathway of peace, but somebody steps over your boundaries or somebody behaves badly, and because you're trying to walk that pathway of peace, you let it go. You sort of think, oh, well, you know, that's okay, that poor person, you know, whatever. You try to hold that you know, really, really beautiful, good-hearted position, and then you carry on, but that person then does it again. This is sort of the point where you kind of have to call the shots around somebody not behaving terribly well. The Chariot invites, as an archetype, it invites us to take an ownership of some of those more deeper kind of, almost we could call them aggressive feelings, but in a powerful, positive way. Moving something forwards, being discerning. If we suppress and stifle justifiable and appropriate sort of crossness, frustration, anger, and they're there because actually if somebody is behaving badly, it's appropriate to feel angry about it. Why wouldn't we? It's only negative if we act on that anger in a negative manner, okay? And this reading is encouraging you to really own how you feel and take action accordingly. Discernment. Choose who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with. Choose who you want to share with or not share with. Remember, look after number one. These cards here. I mean, the success is clear in your reading, reading number 3. Absolutely 100% clear. It really, really is. But this is a time to pay yourself first. Look after you. Prioritize yourself with this incoming success. You know, this is time to prioritize you rather than other people. Okay, I am absolutely seeing success coming to you, and I'm seeing a need to be really, really clear that you prioritize you. You may feel quite disappointed in the behavior of some people, you know, but it's giving you, this reading is giving you the heads up. Your success is assured. We then have, in February, we have the Knight of Swords. We have the Ten of Swords. Yes, you see, we're seeing you act upon this energy here. This is interesting. 5 of Pentacles, the card of Justice, the card of the Empress. Isn't that interesting? Look, we've had this twice now. The card of Justice, the card of the Empress, and the card of the Emperor showing up again. Wow. So this is really interesting. Your success is just fabulous. You're climbing to the heights. Something is coming your way, whatever that is for you. Career, money, finances. You really, really are, you know, abundance, doing well, thriving. Stuff is just working. It's happening. I think then there is a process of discernment and of things coming to your awareness in January, and of you possibly actually having buttons pressed, being quite cross about some people's behavior, attitudes. That's the kind of stuff we're seeing here in January, and you need to take action. February is the time that you then do. It's almost like in January you're thriving, you're doing really, really well, and then you kind of suddenly start to think, well, hang on a minute, I'm not really, you know, I'm paying this person, or I'm supporting this person, or I'm carrying this person, but they're not really giving anything back. You know, I've employed somebody, but they're not really up to scratch, you know, or whatever it is, or this person isn't pulling their weight, and I'm, you know, I'm doing the extra work and I'm carrying them along here. There's something taking place here where it becomes, you become aware of something in January in relation to either another person or a group of people. And this is where you then decide who you're going to work with and who you're not. And even if it's disappointing, you will be able to take action, and the clarity will come, and you will actually, I do think, really draw that line. The rune of the warrior, the spiritual warrior, is all about discernment, being really clear. kind of justice will be served. I think it needs to be, you know, this is the key really here, to make a personal choice. 5 of Pentacles, making a personal choice as to what you're going to do here. And to have the Empress and the Emperor together is incredibly powerful really here. You know, we have the Empress already showing up and the Emperor. So this is about you choosing who you're going to work with, what you're going to do, and how you're going to do it. For some of you, you may even choose to work with a different team, or shift from, you know, maybe if you were working with a particular person, you might, maybe you had a mentor, you might choose a different mentor. If you've got a mentor who's supporting you or teaching you, and you realize that you've kind of outgrown them, and they might actually really envy your success. I always think, you know, the mark of a good teacher is somebody who celebrates and pops the champagne when their students do better than they have ever done. You know, excelling things is just amazing. February looks to be the time when you are actually right at the beginning of February making very clear choices, and it's bringing you, your status is rising again here. So seeing things through experiencing, your success is coming. I'm not seeing any lack of that through the whole period. But as you experience that success, you then start to get discerning, and people will show their true colours. That's the best way of saying it. And so you make clear choices. I'll hang out with you, but I won't hang out with you. That's the kind of deal, whether it's in your personal life or your working life. But you make clear choices based on, in many ways, I think basing those sort of choices on somebody's ability to celebrate you without taking from you. And you make some very, very important choices here, and that actually helps you, because from an energy perspective, I really want to dive in and pull out some of these cards right at the base here, just for a moment. So please excuse me, but this is the one that's leaping out for me right here and right now as I'm remembering it being there. Just want to read what this says. Your abundance flow is being affected by the people with whom you're spending time, so be discerning about your associations and relationships. Choose to be with people who are inspiring, generous, and supportive. Okay, these cards are really powerful in terms of the messages they are bringing for you. Let's just, yes, ask for your needs to be met. This is you prioritizing you. God and the angels can come to your aid only if you make a free will choice to be helped, and it begins with asking. It doesn't matter how you ask God for help, but only that you do so. The same holds true with clearly asking other people to assist you. Very interesting, because I think if you ask someone to assist you, and then they're not really assisting you, they're assisting themselves or using the situation for their own well-being rather than yours, then we're talking about detoxing, aren't we? Making discerning choices. And isn't it interesting? Your energy rises. We see clear-cut choices being made here that hold the key to your ability to thrive. Pay yourself first. Make yourself the most important financial obligation by setting aside a proportion of your income every time you're paid. This loving form of self-care ensures that you'll have savings to invest in your present and your future. It's about you holding on to some of your success, not just giving all the money away kind of thing, actually putting some aside for you. Prioritizing you, making sure your future is safe and your future is being looked after. Let us look at what happens in March. I mean, I'm seeing the rise to success, your strength growing here, and we have the sun. Lovely. We have the sun, we have the Four of Swords, we have the Hanged Man, and we have the Six of Wands. This is super nice. I actually think come March, again, your success is just rising. Success is flowing for you. I think you realize that maybe you're being depleted by giving away too much or to the wrong people, or that, you know, there's an adjustment that's going to be made here. It will become clear to you in January. February is that time of making those choices, and your energy builds and you rise and your success starts to flow back in as your own energetic resonance becomes detoxified from people who are kind of connected to you for the wrong reasons. Four of Swords, I think maybe you take a holiday, a bit of a break in March actually. You've got some money, you've got some cash, invest in yourself, nurture yourself, look after yourself, take a break, look after you. You know, the pathway is really becoming clearer and clearer for you. It really is. You are shifting, you are moving, you are growing, you are evolving. And Six of Wands, this is public success, public acclaim, being seen, victory. Super Souls, reading number 3. I think this is mind-blowing, this reading, because I don't know what it is you're doing or where you are rising or how you're rising, only that you are, that the success is absolutely coming. And the only hindrance within your first 3 months of next year, within that first quarter in your career, money, finances, is the connection to a person or a people or a group of people who kind of are coming in with the wrong motives, the wrong they have their own, the agenda is about themselves rather than you, and this is about you shifting that energy point by making clear choices, investing in yourself, choosing who you share your success with great clarity. I do think there's some disappointment and some emotions in January coming through here about people. It's disappointing, isn't it, if you realise that somebody's only in this for themselves. It's incredibly disappointing. But don't let that get you down, because this is well earned. The success is so apparent here. Whatever you're doing, fabulous. It's amazing. Take time out, enjoy what you have and invest in yourself. Because the more you invest in yourself, the more your success is going to grow. And we are seeing you rise, your success rise and become consolidated in February as you make choices, as you're clear about who you share with and choose to invest in yourself with great clarity. And then in March, I just think you're building on your strengths. And you know, that growth is, you're still rising basically. It's super fab, it really is. Reading number 3, this is a fascinating reading. Super Souls, if you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, do subscribe and press the little bell icon. Thank you for joining me today. I do at least usually 3 pick a card readings every week, and in between some sort of touch base here and now single readings. So I also have a timeless readings playlist, and in that in that timeless readings playlist there are readings that answer specific questions like, can I trust this person? How will this pan out? There's always a ton of readings available for you if you're having a wobble or you're feeling uncertain. Can I trust this person? Those sorts of things. There are lots and lots of readings here as a resource on the Moon Magic Tarot channel to help you at any time. Super Souls, this is amazing. Thank you to all of you who are giving back through the super thanks. You are very appreciated. And also to all of you who are supporting all of my work. I have a free online library as well, which supports psychological and emotional health. All of you who are on Patreon, you know, your donations there go to keeping that library up and running and available completely free of charge. So thank you. And if you're new to me and my channel, then the people on my Patreon people, I do a tutorial every month for them, teaching how to read the cards, the runes, oracle cards. And as I'm uploading this in November, the November tutorial is all about learning to read the runes. So thank you, Super Souls. I hope you're enjoying the tutorials, and just thank you all for being a part of this amazing community. I just am blown away by your success. You're rising. You are rising to heights that are higher than you possibly would have even thought possible. The abundance is really flowing for you. So reading number 3, it's a super time, and I'm afraid sometimes success does attract some negative energies in people. That is not your fault. Your only responsibility is to invest in you and look after number one. Super Souls, tons of love to you. Have an amazing January, February and March of 2023.